Hello everyone, this is Spot, and welcome back to Shadowrun Returns Hong Kong. If you haven't been keeping up, I would suggest you actually check the playlist link in the description and start from the beginning, because it is story related. Speaking of story, I am somewhat of a story lore whore, so I read everything that I possibly can, so there we go. Although I don't do accents or anything, because I suck at those. Alright, we're currently talking to our brother. I don't know if he's a stepbrother. I think he's actually a brother. Okay. And this is a flashback. You can't just leave like this, Ash. What am I going to say to Raymond? You know how he is. Yeah, I know how he is. Inflexible. Sorry, man, gotta go. I got something to attend to, Duncan, and I can't wait. Inflexible. Exactly. We're breaking one of his rules, just being outside the house after curfew. What is so important that you have to run out now in the middle of the night without even telling Raymond why? He's distraught. You can see it on his face, hear it in his voice. He used to be lost without you. Truth, it's a job, too good to pass up. Come on, Duncan, we could use you. You're good in a fight. No, all of these are truth, wow. I wonder if the truth on these is impacted by conversation decisions we made before. It's interesting. Some people mess with me, and I don't intend on letting them get away with it. Could use your help. I need to see a guy about a deal, the good kind, the big kind. I've got a friend in a bind, Duncan. That's all I can say about it. I have to go help. Sorry, Duncan, I can't talk about it. I would if I could. We'll go with the friend in a bind. His eyes widen. I thought I knew all your friends. He shakes his head. I don't like this, Ash. It sounds like the kind of shit we said we'd leave behind. Look, whatever's going on, I can tell you one thing. Raymond will not approve. I'll deal with that when I get back. I won't be gone long. 2-3 days tops. I know. Why do you think I'm sneaking out? Be back before the weekend. Raymond doesn't approve of anything but the life of a wage slave. See you in a couple days. 2-3 days tops. You remember the look on Duncan's face as you walked away. The events that followed were a blur, one that you don't care to remember. 3 days later, you were behind bars in a private corporate prison. No interrogation, no charges, no appeal. Years later, some corporation bought some other corporation, and the new board of directors pushed through some sort of reform agenda, and the higher-ups gave an order, and then you were out, with a few hundred union to your name and one scary-as-hell non-disclosure agreement ensuring your silence. NDAs are fun. Not that it mattered to you anymore. You were starting fresh, determined. Until Raymond tracked you down, left you that voicemail, brought you to Hong Kong, and back together with Duncan Wu. Okay. You realize that Wu's been staring at you. Now let's hear it. Where the hell have you been all this time? Why didn't you contact me? At least to tell me you were alive. I wanted to, Duncan, but I was locked up tight. Corporate black site. No communication. It's not my fault, alright? I was in a cell, Wu. The deep, dark kind. You're pissed that I didn't contact you. I was locked up, Duncan, for years. You're a cop. Why didn't you go looking for me? We'll deal with this one. No shit? He squints at you, full lie detector mode. Oh, fuck. I had no idea. A range of emotions play across Wu's face. He stares at the ground for some time before finally looking back up at you with a heavy sigh. Wow, I really don't know how to process that one right now. He shakes his head. I don't know. If we're still alive tomorrow, we can talk more. This shit is too much. We're marooned on this island, hunted by the cops. My partner is dead. Raymond is missing. And we're about to go see a crime lord about erasing our goddamn identities. And as a bonus, our only allies are a pair of tiny criminals. Tiny criminals who would kill us if they could, so they don't have to deal with this. He rubs his head viciously. Listen, Ash, back in the Barrens, whenever I was out of control, you just handled the situation, remember? With Carter gone, I'm just raw nerve. I'm afraid I'm going to slip back, and people are going to start getting hurt again. I got your back, Duncan. I got the lead, Duncan, just like I used to. No one's going to get killed, Duncan. I got your back. He stares at you hard, like he's trying to see something inside your head. His voice comes out flat. We'll see. Just don't press it. I need time to get used to you. Now let's go meet that triad woman and get our damn sins burned. I want to rip off the bandage as fast as I can. Alright. See, I would think that the whole sin burning thing would be more about database records than anything physically on them. But I guess there might be like an RFID type tech there. Is there anything around here worth looking at? More lore items, damn it. I would actually take less locations, because they're all gorgeous, and I'm sure they took a while. Less locations and more lore items in each location. Yeah, okay. Heyo, a makeshift boat city latched onto the Kayatak riverfront like a parasite. Behind you, a massive snarl of dark and derelict high-rises dominates the horizon. The walled city. Dun dun dun. MTR. Oh, this is so cool. You know what I want? The whole Oculus Rift VR stuff that's just kind of like exploding, and it's like it's off the chain now, right? I mean, it will just keep getting better and better and better. I can't wait until we can get an almost a photorealistic VR experience that you can like walk down streets like this, you know, where it's very like cyberpunkish. It'll be amazing. I know that was probably a bit off, weird topic from a Let's Play, but yeah, things pop into my mind. A massive steel security door is set into a bunker-like concrete wall. There is no sign or identification of what this place is. A battered intercom is encased in a cage of welded steel and armor glass. Grainy letters are barely readable on the screen. Chrome Alley, medical services and mechanical repair. Premises protected by deadly weapons and infectious diseases. And infectious diseases? Okay. I don't think we're actually supposed to talk to anybody right now, right? We kind of would need to come back later. Anything interesting around here? Wow, the detail in this design is just awesome. Can you actually go all the way around? Oh, hello. No. It just tries. It goes as far as it can. Oh, that makes sense, I guess. Do we actually want to press the buzzer? We should press the buzzer. There's a cackle of static, then a brisk voice answers. What do you want? The voice is Cantonese, is precise, but the accent sounds American. Is this a medical clinic? No, it's a chicken factory. What do you want? Looking for a medical clinic. Yeah, that's me. But listen, guy, I don't know you. I don't like people I don't know. Who sent you? Friends with Isabel and Gobet. Yeah? Those two drag some real prizes out of the river. You get Nightjar to vouch for you, I'll consider giving you the time of day. Got it? You don't keep up with current events, do you? Nightjar's dead. There's a long silence on the intercom. Crying shame if that's true. And I saw that one coming. So you just washed up with Isabel and Gobbet, huh? You know what that tells me? You're here to today, and you'll be gone tomorrow. I think it's a typo. I'll keep my distance. I'm doing a job for Kylie. Forget it, I'm going. Okay. We'll probably be able to get in there later. We pretty much need to talk to Kindly first, which is pretty much what I assumed. Law's Techno Palace. Is that like a... Oh, that's cool. Is that like a club or something? That's actually really interesting. Can we go this way? Ooh. There's all types of goodies down here. What's this? Let's go this way. And we're going to inspect this. The insulation on these heavy wires is cracked. They buzz and crackle occasionally as stray drips from the... What the stray drips of... No! Stop it! Don't... What the... Hold on a second. Is that an option? Text speed. Slow. Because obviously I can't read fast enough, it seems. Alright. Because I missed that and you can't click on it again, which is unfortunate. Anything interesting down here, actually? Can we go down here? We can. I want to see interesting stuffs. Don't mess with the law. Ooh, you can go in here. Interesting. Is there any fun times in here? No. Ah, that's so annoying. So we're supposed to go down this way. So let's go up here. Because again, I want to look around. So these are all people you can talk to. Triad Guard. Frederick Cafe. I'm thinking that until we go meet Kindly, we're probably not going to do much around here. I mean, like, actually be able to do much, right? It kind of is what it is. It's like... But it's very pretty. It's so pretty. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Can we go across here anywhere? Is there any way to get across here this way? Yes, okay. Where are we going? Oh, right here. Okay. Who's this? Smuggler. Oh, we're not doing anything with that yet. This is cool. It is like literally built up from floating stuff. That's pretty badass. Pretty badass. And that guy looks mean. Is there anything down here of interest? Just the end of the dock, kind of? Okay. What is that guy smoking? That is really large. Alright, here we go. The swift wind's Mojang parlor, filled with the stink of cigarette smoke, the incessant click-clack of Mojang tiles, and the grim faces of hardened gamblers. I like Mojang, actually. Okay. So where are we going here? Oh, here. Kindly Jane, come on. We have a lot to talk about. That's scary. You can feel every eye in the room as you cross the Mojang parlor to the middle-aged woman sitting patiently at its end. The click-clack of ivory-colored tile stops. Hands stray beneath tables into jacket pockets behind backs. Obviously, people here have cold hands, it seems. The woman has the face of a prison guard and the demeanor of an inmate. Her salt and pepper hair is pulled into an iron-hard bun, and beneath it, two shiny black eyes offer nothing. Buttons sewn on a doll. A nearly empty bottle of something foul rests on her Mojang table, nestled between a pair of dirty shot glasses. Tiny puddles of brown linger at their bottoms. Gobet and Isabel stand on the other side of the table, heads lowered, shoulders slumped, hands clasped. They risk a frightened glance at you as you approach. Kindly Jing's voice is nasal and rusty mean. I'm not even going to try to do that. My little pair of fuck-ups here told me all about what happened on the docks. She dips a pinky into a shot glass, brings it to her mouth, removes it with a sharp smack. How two of my best runners had their heads put out. How you need protection, and how you need to get your identities wiped before you get your heads put out too. Potentially leading the heat to my front door, placing me and everyone in my employ in danger. She fingers the rim of her glass. So wise, so very, very wise. The young shaman's eyes never leave the floor. We're sorry, Auntie. We thought... Her black eyes flash. You mustn't speak until you are spoken to, Gobet, dear. The smile turns mean, and since you are one short hair away from being dumped in the river chained to Isabel's corpse, I suggest you let your new friends here do the talking for a while. Does that make sense to you, dear? Her... I don't know that word. Her treacle voice is back. Sweet, nasal, and grinding. Dark circles ring Goblet's armpits. Yes, Auntie. Dark circles. That's interesting. Shang inclines her head gently. Very good. You learn so quickly. Goblet kept a very cool head in a tense situation. She's the one who led us out of the police ambush. Let's remain silent. She pours another drink. Her cheeks are rosy, already flushed. Now, my darlings, I understand from little Ratchet here that you came from Seattle to meet with my client, Mr. Black. Wu's jaw tightens at the word client. But before you could find him, the HKPF started splattering gray matter everywhere and everything went to shit. And now you need your sins burned so you can disappear before you end up dead too. Is that right? Yes, ma'am. Very good. Why don't we start with you telling me who you are? Call me Spot. Oh, you've already chosen a street name. How prescient of you. Shing looks at you approvingly. Spot, it's a good name. Has real character. Yes, it does. Thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment. It does. Yes. Thank you so much. She flutters her eyelashes at you. Now, what's your real name? I mean, you do want me to erase your identities, don't you, dear? I need to know who you are first. Ash, I guess that you'd call me as a street samurai. Ash, I do what he's doing. We'll just do that. She rests her chin on her hand. I know the type. And how did you become someone who does what needs doing, Ash? Why, I was military, then I wasn't. A corp trained me. I was a wage slave for a while, learned a trade, private security. I spent a little time with Knight Errant. Picked it up young. I've been in the cooler for a few. Let's just say I'm self-taught and leave it at that. Cooler. Wu's brow furrows and he shakes his head. Still can't believe it. Kindly Ching whips her head towards Wu, a nasty retort already on her lips, but then she stops, sticks out her lower lip as she sizes him up. She turns to her lieutenant standing behind her, nodding her approval. Looks like the gun show is in town. What's your name, gun show? Wu's focus remains straight ahead. Duncan Wu. I'm a cop. Lone Star. I hear there were some fresh corpses found on the docks tonight. Smugglers, I believe. Didn't sound like the Hong Kong police when I heard about it. You're doing Duncan Wu? Wu's eyes remain fixed on a spot on the wall behind her. He smolders. I identified myself as Lone Star, but they wouldn't stand down. They had weapons. It was self-defense. She puckers her lips at him, her voice sing-song. I don't care, sweetie. They weren't my people. But now I know you're a life-taker, Mr. Gunshow. You and your friend here. She begins arranging mahjong tiles on the table in front of her. But now I'm curious, why were you meeting Raymond Black on the docks tonight? Raymond Black is our foster father. He's a friend, said he needed our help. He's a friend. Chang's black eyes flash. Really? You have a lot of 65-year-old friends who you'll fly around the world to help? He raised us. Raymond Black is our foster father. That makes her pause. Chang lifts her bottle of swill and eyes the label, connecting the dots in her own head. Interesting. A look of disgust passes over her face. Sorry, kids, but he was looking like shit when I saw him. Eyes half open, dark circles around them, dragging his feet, the whole bit. She tisks in displeasure. Your foster daddy was in a bad place. You think it was drugs? Tell us everything you know about him. Sounds like he wasn't sleeping. Could be. From what he said, it sounded like he was having nightmares. He would stop in the middle of a sentence and mutter something to himself. One time it was about the walls breathing or something. Another time it was about teeth. Thousands of teeth. I remember him drifting off near the end of our meeting. It looked like he was off somewhere else in his head. He said, I left prosperity in there. Then Nightjar put his hand on Mr. Black's shoulder, asked him why he wanted to go into the walled city so badly. That seemed to bring him back. When your old man opened his eyes, they were full of tears. Then he muttered something else I couldn't make out. She pours herself another shot, tosses it back, and rubs her belly. Your daddy got really irritating after a while. What do you think it means? I can imagine. How do you leave prosperity? Do you think prosperity could be a person? I have no fucking clue. She grabs a long, slim cigar from a pack on the mahjong table, lights it. All right, let's get to it. She exhales smoke and points two fingers at you and Wu. You two need your sins burned, and you need them burned fast. Hong Kong dragnets are bad news. When they roll in force. Armored personnel carriers, heavy armor, heavy weapons, sorcerers, the whole thing. And they aren't coming to arrest you. She folds her arms across her chest, the thin cigar bobs in her mouth as she speaks. The good news is, I can help you. With a wave of my hand, I can have your sins disappear. But you need to understand, my darlings, that what you are asking for is not a simple request. Burning a sin isn't just deleting a number. It's wiping all reference to that number from all of the world's largest databases. It's masking your mugshot in their facial recognition databases so that the first camera you walk past doesn't bring them down on you like a ton of bricks. It's covering our fucking tracks so that the act of burning your sin doesn't lead them right to us. It requires contacts in numerous corporations and the UCAS government. Smoke rolls out of her triad boss's nose. It requires someone like me. Therefore, I need to make a choice. She takes another drag on her cigar and gently places her palm flat on the table. Do I kill you and dispose of your bodies before the cops come looking for you, or do I help you burn your sins? We're more valuable alive. Help us and we'll help you. Ching rests her chin on her hand again and smiles at you. Are you, my darling? If you are dead, things appear to be much less complicated. If you are alive... She stares at you for a long moment, chin still on her hand, thinking, taps her ash on the floor without taking her eyes off you. A low, reluctant growl rumbles somewhere deep in her throat. Okay, you live for now. I'll put your sins to the torch. However, I'll need to call in several valuable favors within my network to do it, and those favors do not come cheap. Kindly Cheng stubs out her cigar. You will owe me. What do you want us to do? Whatever you say, Auntie. Can't say I'm surprised. What do you want us to do? I want you to deliver a message for me to a business associate in the walled city. The Yellow Lotus has a strong presence inside. Ash, Isabel can tell you all about it, can't you, dear? Isabel grew up in the walled city. Isabel's eyes remain lowered. They collect taxes for the corporations, extort protection money from shopkeepers, run drugs, guns, people. They hurt people. We do those things, yes, but to be fair, we also operate the walled city's black market. You might not be alive today if it weren't for the lifeline that we provide. Isabel clamps up tight. Jing picks up a mahjong tile and turns it with her fingers. There is a red pole, a sort of enforcer, yes, on the inside. His name is Strangler Bayo. Bayo is a strong man, a good soldier, but he has forgotten his place. I need you to remind him. How are we supposed to do that? Want us to make an example of him? Let me guess. By remind him, you mean put a bullet in his head. Make an example of him. Did I say that I wanted you to make an example of him? No. I want you to deliver a message. She tosses you a memory stick. Bring this to him in my name. And remember that Bayo's men are my men by right. They should all be serving me. Killing them would be a waste of resources. I have no use for dead soldiers. She turns to Gaba and Isabel. One of you will go with these two Westerners to the walled city, help them locate Bayo and show them the ropes. The other will remain here with me. I have several menial and degrading tasks that need doing around the establishment. No matter who goes and who stays, you'll both pay for bringing the APB to my doorstep. Yes, Auntie. Yes, Auntie. Now, I'm going to find out who ordered the hit on Nightjar and do some dysentery on him with power tools. She closes her eyes and smiles with pleasure. That boy was my favorite. He sang to me sometimes. She opens her eyes again and sneers. That other one, I don't care about. Gutshot was an asshole. She turns away and waves you off with the back of her hand. That will be all, my darlings. Return to me when you are done. One last question, Auntie. Thanks for the favor, Auntie. Deal. We'll do deal. Wu turns to leave. Well, we're still alive. That's something. All right. So, I assume at some point we have to choose who's going to go with us. All right. So I'm going to put a cut here because we're over time as it is. And thanks for hanging out. I'm really enjoying it. I love the writing. I just love it. It's like an interactive book. It's amazing. Hope to see you next time. We'll have even more fun, more lore, and lore is good. Yes. All right. See you next time. Bye-bye.
We're going for the moon.
Hey there, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. If you'd like to see more, just click subscribe. Come say hi to me on Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, any of those. I hope to see you next time.